So, the state of Florida recently approved a bill that's going to go on the ballot in November that involves major property tax reform. I hope Floridians can look at this and just see, is this good or is this bad for the state of Florida? Don't worry about who initially put this on the ballot or whose idea this was. Let's just dive into what this property tax reform is and what are the positive or negatives that it may have contained in this bill. So, first off, let's talk a little bit about what was recently approved, because this went back and forth several times between House and Senate. They finally agreed on it, and now it was approved, and now it's going to the ballot in November. So we still have about 5 months before voters in the state of Florida will have a chance to vote on this, and it needs 60% approval to pass, not just a majority. It has to have 60% approval. That's how you change the state constitution. So what this involves is, listen, property taxes has been a huge thorn in a lot of people's side. That and homeowners insurance, I think we all agree. It has gone up tremendously over the years. And what this bill is going to do now, first off, it's not just going to slash your property taxes right away. You're not going to be exempt from property taxes right away. It's kind of a slow rollout, but what it's going to, in essence, do on primary residences only, so your homesteaded property, the current exemption right now sits at $50,000. For schools, it's actually at $25,000, and that has not changed since 2008. The $25,000 hasn't changed since 1980. The $50,000 recently changed in 2008, but has been sitting there for almost 20 years now. They're going to take that exemption and increase it to $150,000 in 2027. Then in 2028, it'll go to $250,000. And then the goal is after that to eventually keep going up based on the rate of inflation to hit a $500,000 exemption. They said if and when it gets to that $500,000, about 92% of current homeowners down here would not pay any property taxes. Now, there's a little caveat to that. They don't pay any ad valorem taxes. There's still non-ad valorem portion of everyone's tax bill. That includes things like sometimes the firefighters. It could entail like garbage, water, things like that. Those are usually set. They're not going to be touched. In addition to that, they're also putting a cap on your non-homesteaded property. So your investor, second home, short-term rentals, commercial, et cetera. Right now, those can go up 10% a year, which is pretty hefty. They're putting a cap on that now at 5%. So listen, here's the thing. This is something that hasn't, been done. And like I said, the last time we saw any sort of homestead increase, it was back in 2008. Property values have gone up tremendously since 2019 to current. In the last 5 or 6 years, every county in the state of Florida has experienced tremendous tax revenue growth. And I'm talking the average in the state of Florida is over 60%. It's about 67%. So, but I want to just kind of let's pick on Broward County here. This is where I live and where we work. So let's talk about Broward County real quick. From 2019, Broward County tax revenue budget, they brought in about $1.1 billion. Fast forward to 2025, $1.8 billion. That is a 64% increase, $700 million additional dollars in just 6 years. However, Broward County, the amount of residents that's come here, people that moved here, what was the net gain over that 6 period? Total 3.5%, about 0.5% a year net gain that we averaged since 2019. So you need to think about this in the sense that these, cities and counties have been the fortunate recipient of property values just skyrocketing, especially during COVID. They should be sitting on an excess of tax revenue because it's not like they needed all that because of all these people coming into to the state or to the county. But you could go through every county in the state of Florida, which I have, and all of them are in very positive territory with tax revenue gain. The state as a whole averages about 67%. We've gone from about 10.5 to 17.5. And this is just in the ad valorem property tax revenue that I'm referring to. So now that these changes are coming, you're going to see it's already happening. It's amazing actually when I look in my feed, because I'm very involved and very passionate about this, is how many mayors and city commissioners and elected officials are coming out and panicking right now. Most of them are anti this. There's a few that are definitely support this, but most are anti. What I find ironic is we didn't see any of these people when they were raking in the tax revenue money over the last 5 or 6 years. But now when someone says this terrible 3-letter word, cut, they are panicking. They are all coming out saying that we're going to lose. And I don't think you can necessarily lose something when you've had a tremendous gain. So the problem that they're running into is that they might actually have to do some tough work. They might actually have to sit down, look at a budget, and make that horrible 3-letter word cuts to their budget. But this is something that needed to be done. We don't, what I don't understand is why do they get to take advantage of the windfall of good years, but don't have to do anything when someone wants to make a cut? And listen, this is just to protect primary residence owners. I think, honestly, the first couple of years, I don't think this is going to be huge for city and counties. I mean, to go from the 50 to 150, I know that's substantial, but this should have been done years ago. There's a commission that meets on this, and they meet every 20 years. So some people have been saying, hey, let's scratch this and wait till next year when this commission meets again. Well, I'm sorry, but why would we scratch this now and wait next year on the hopes that the commission can do something? I mean, this is a commission that only meets 20 years. So what if they don't? We're going to wait another 20 years? So I don't think Floridians can afford that. But another interesting stat I just want to let you know, when we go back to that 2019, the amount of tax revenue that we collected total is almost equivalent to 2025 tax revenue just on the non-homesteaded properties. So once again, commercial, second home investment, short-term rentals, et cetera. So this can work. And not to mention, I think people are not looking at the benefits of this. So what I look at a benefit is, as a primary residence, this is going to attract people to the state. So they might pick up more revenue. And it's not just primary residence. It could attract more second home and investment just because they don't get that increase in the homestead exemption. They have now caps going from 10% down to 5%. So that's a big advantage to them too. So that could draw in more, attract more people here, sell more properties, which will therefore bring in additional tax revenue. So listen, is this bill perfect? No, I don't think any bill is. But just because you find a few flaws to say, no, this is something that we shouldn't do and scratch it, I totally disagree with this. I think if anything, this puts something into place. It can provide immediate relief to the people that need it the most, which are our, lower homes, lower income residents out there. They'll get real tax relief. And we can see what happens. I mean, we can, at least if this after a year or two, or we get into year 3, 4, and 5, and there's maybe some issues, they can make changes. But let's get something on the ballot now, provide relief now, and let's stop the scare tactics of, that we're going to lose, all these essential services. That is simply not the case. And there is the revenue there currently to continue with these services. So look, we're going to talk about this a lot more in the months to come. We have about 5 months, but wanted to get this out. This is a big deal. We are going to be the pioneers in the state of Florida here to have some real tax relief for our, primary resident citizens. So anyway, if you have any questions on this and you just want to chat more about it, feel free to reach out. Would love to hear your opinion on it. Other than that, hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care.